floor is yours.
Starting with Gayatri Mantra, which is considered the most sacred mantra of Hinduism, I shall be reading from ancient Hindu scriptures, some as old as 1500 BCE, then interpret in English. Om Bhurvah Swah Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat. We meditate on the transcendental glory of the Deity Supreme, who's inside the heart of the earth, inside the life of the sky, and inside the soul of the heaven. May He stimulate and illuminate our minds. Astoma Sadgamya Tamsoma Jyotirgamya Mrityor Mamratam Gamya. Lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, lead us from death to immortality. Tasmada Sakta Statam Karyam Karma Samachara Sakto Hyacharan Karma Parma Panoti Purusha Karma Neva Hi Samsiddhi Masita Jankadya Loka Sagraha Mevapi Sampashankar Tumrahasi. Strive constantly to serve the welfare of the world. By devotion to selfless, one attains the supreme goal of life. Do your work with the welfare of others always in mind. Om Saha Nabhavatu, Saha No Bhunaktu, Saha Viryan Karba Bahai, Tejasvi Navadita Mastu, Ma Vidvisa Bahai. May we be protected together, may we be nourished together, may we work together with great vigor. May our study be enlightening, may no obstacle arise between us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Dr. Warren, you're recognized.
Stay up here with me. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Greetings, be it hereby known that Rajan Zed, in recognition of a life of exemplary qualities, outstanding service to this city and many cities, meritorious involvement in humanitarian affairs, and demonstrated concern for governmental process, has been appointed Chaplain of the Day of the Memphis City Council. Is hereby entitled to all the honors, rights, privileges, and prerogatives appertaining in the office, and to the display of this certificate given this day, the 16th of December, by Fort Canale Chairman and myself, Jeff Warren, Member of Council. You're very welcome. Thank you, sir. That is one of the greatest ones we've had. Oh, could we possibly ask the council members to come down and get a picture with our colleague here? He has been many places and would like to have this as a memory.
Madam Comptroller, would you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilmember Canali, Carlisle, Cooper Sutton, Easter Thomas, Ford, Green, Logan, Spinoza, Swearingen Washington,
Present.
Walker, Warren, White, Chairman Canali. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum. Oh, sheet.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. I believe Chair-elect Swearingen Washington has read our meeting minutes from December 2nd.
Thank you, Chairman. I have reviewed the minutes. I find them to be in order. I move for the adoption of the December 2nd, 2025 meeting minutes. And I so move.
Minutes were moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Spinoza. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Welcome to our December 16, 2025 regular meeting of the Memphis City Council. Meetings of the council shall be conducted in an orderly manner to ensure the public has the full opportunity to be heard and the deliberate process of the council is retained at all times. The Sergeant at Arms has meeting agendas available up front, as well as comment request cards for members of the public wishing to be heard on a specific item. All those wishing to speak on an item must turn in their comment card to the Sergeant at Arms before the item is called. If you're not here to speak on a specific item, you can note your request to give general comment at the end of the meeting. As chair, I will only recognize citizens that properly registered to speak by submitting a completed comment request card to the Sergeant at Arms. Members of the audience and persons addressing the council will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory, personal, slanderous, or profane comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairperson of the council may maintain order by giving any persons who are in violation of the stated rules of decorum a warning to cease any violative conduct in order to leave the council's chambers, or by giving an order for security personnel to remove any disruptive person in the council's chambers who refuses to leave voluntarily. These rules are posted on the door as you enter the chamber and as you pick up comment cards. An example of an 11 by 17 poster is also posted on the door. Signs larger than that permitted size are prohibited and will be removed from the chamber. All that to say, let's have a good meeting. We have some important work to get through. Housekeeping items. Holds are items 26, 27, and 29. They will be held until January 13, 2026. Item 28 will be held until March 3rd, 2026. Madam Comptroller, would you please call item number 1?
Item number 1 is a resolution recognizing and honoring the Memphis Parks Literacy Meets Recreation Program participants. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman Logan.
Councilwoman Logan, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair and colleagues. I am so excited to actually present these certificates. I attended an event, an amazing event at the community center in Raleigh, and it was a joint activity among a number of community centers. But the event was Passport to Literacy authors, and it was unbelievable how they came together in the Parks Department, put this program on, and now we have 10 new published authors from the Parks Department. And I felt like this is an opportunity to recognize our amazing parks staff as well as our parents and those young people that attended this program who worked so hard, and now they're published authors as a result of this program. So I'm going to call their names and I'm going to call their parents' name, ask the young people to come down, and I want to bring up our Parks director or who's representing Parks to talk about the program. And when I call the young person's name, we're going to ask the parent to stand as well. Tyson Van Hook, Royalty Smith, Ricarlos Jones, Kamira Party, Rowan Irby, Messiah Irby, Christian Vasquez, Christopher Vasquez, Chanel Vasquez, and Jakayla Walker. Parents are Trevicia Van Hook, Lakivette Smith, Cynthia Jones, Jermika Van Hook, Neely Wright, and Ashley Vasquez. Parents, if you are here, stand. Hey. Okay, that's fine. You all, these are all published authors, and they have their books with them. Okay, come on right over, and I'm going to give you a space to kind of tell about the program and the authors. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Good afternoon, council members, the mayor, and distinguished guests. Thank you guys for this resolution and recognizing us with the Lit Meets Rec program. This is a literacy initiative of Memphis Parks. As you see, they came together and they created and they reimagined how learning can happen in our community. Lit Meets Rec integrates reading, writing, storytelling into our neighborhood community centers, placing traditional known recreation, transforming them into spaces where literacy, creativity, and youth voice their thrive. Through this program, young people are not only playing in our community centers, they are becoming published authors, storytellers, and leaders. Lit Meets Rec addresses a critical community need by meeting the youth where they are and providing that parks and recreation are more than places to play. We are essential to the hoods of education, to the hoods of empowering youth and opportunity of potential. We are honored this day by you guys recognizing us and having the grace to give us this honor. We thank you for helping us cultivate the potential and the strength by building the families and becoming more literate and connected to Memphis. These children, these 10 selected authors here have become published authors throughout Memphis Parks, the literacy program. This free first-time event highlighted youth voice, creative expression, and community pride, transforming local kids into lifelong storytellers with books now available online and royalties they are earned forever. Thank you, thank you, thank you from Memphis Parks.
And I am going to read the resolution for your hearing, and then we're going to come over here and take a group picture, okay? All right. Whereas literacy, including reading and writing, is fundamental to academic success, workforce readiness, and long life opportunity, yet many children and families in Memphis continue to face significant literacy challenges. Fewer than 1/4 of Memphis-Shelby County school students currently meet grade level proficiency in reading on state assessments, highlighting the urgent need for innovative, accessible, and community-based literacy initiatives. And whereas the Memphis City Council recognizes and honors the Memphis Parks Literacy Meets Recreation Program, commonly known as Lit Meets Rec, and the Young Authors Guild project for their successful efforts in enabling 10 youth authors to publish books in 2025. And whereas the Lit Meets Rec program and the Young Actors Guild project encourage participants to tell their own stories and encourage their literature beyond the traditional classroom setting through unique opportunities opportunities, special events, and interactive activities. And whereas the Lit Meets Rec program provides participants with accessible, joyful, and relevant experiences that bridge literacy and recreation, fostering a lifelong love of reading and writing among Memphis youth. And whereas the Lit Meets Rec program and the Young Actors Guild teach participants how to develop, write, and illustrate and publish their own stories, including opportunities to receive royalties from book sales while inspiring young people to embrace their creative potential, engaging meaningful storytelling, and envision themselves as published authors whose work can influence, educate, and uplift the community. And whereas the Memphis City Council wishes to continue success to the Memphis Park Literacy Recreation Program and the Young Actors Guild Project in their ongoing efforts to support youth literacy, creativity, and positive development in the city of Memphis. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Memphis City Council hereby extends its sincerest congratulations to Memphis Parks, the Literacy Meets Recreation Program, and project for their outstanding achievements and meaningful contributions to youth development and literacy in Memphis. Adopted Tuesday, December 16, 2025, Rhonda Logan, Memphis City Council, District 1. Thank you all so much. Let's stand and give them a hand. And their parents that are here.
Madam Comptroller, please show that approved by acclamation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Congratulations to you, young men and women. We are so proud of you. Okay.
Books,
Hold on. All right.
Barnes, where? Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So we want to support our newest, okay, author. You want us to come down here?
What are we doing? Madam Comptroller, would you please call item 2?
Item number 2 is a resolution recognizing and honoring the graduating class of the South City Leads Resident Leadership Academy. This resolution is sponsored by Councilwoman White.
Councilwoman White, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Chairman. I am so excited. I too had the, yes, let's cheer for SCORE. I too had the opportunity to go to the graduation of SCORE, and right here beside me is the wonderful, brilliant Mrs. Rebecca Hutchinson, who leads SCORE. And that stands for Opportunity, Revitalization, and Empowerment. And so what this class was, it is South City Leads Resident Leadership Academy. And these wonderful people decided that they wanted to learn more about our government, how they could become engaged. Each one of them participated in a community project. And it was the most amazing program to see that we want people to be more interested in what's going on in the community and see that these individuals decided to dedicate their time to serve in their communities, to learn more about how the communities operated, and to make sure that they were contributing to our thoughts and our ideas and the policies that we pass here on the council. And so I wanted to make sure that we recognize not only Mrs. Hutchinson, but also our graduates. And so to the graduating class of South City Leads Resident Leadership Academy, congratulations. You all, yes. You all have demonstrated exceptional commitment, leadership, and passion for improving your communities through initiatives such as community, school initiatives, school supply drives, neighborhood cleanups, and senior outreach. And I don't think I see her, that was going to feed meals every week. Is she here? She's not here. Even one of the graduates was talking about how even before this class, she goes along with her children and feeds meals to the children. So I just want to recognize Raphael Anderson, Darius Bell, Tamara Davis, Waddell Fisher, Christine Harper, Margarita Hayes, Billy J. House, Ethel Johnson, Joe Johnson, Isella Jones, Dorothy Kimball, Jacqueline McKinley, Rosemary McKinney, Susan Moore, Erlene Riley, Wilma Robinson, Jimmy Towns, and Lawana Wright. Congratulations. And we have a certificate and a little gift for each one of you all. Thank you for all you do. Yes. And would you like to say something?
Absolutely. First, thank you so very much, Councilwoman White, for this recognition. This is an amazing opportunity for our participants in our Leadership Academy to understand what public policy is all about. These are individuals who live, work, worship in mostly the South City community, which is not far from here, zip code 38126. And at SCORE, we don't believe that we can empower residents, but we believe that they already possess the power. But what is missing is the connection to information, resources, and knowledge. And once we help them to connect to that, they activate that internal power, and they can go out in the neighborhood and they can work with the YWCA and fill the wish list of those poor mothers, those mothers at the senior housing. There is so much that they can do. And we just heard about what they have done. They learn about the data in our neighborhood. What does it look like in data? They learn about public policy and how they can impact public policy. They learn about how to develop that community service project, among so many other things. And so we're very, very proud of Cohort 8. And actually, we started in 2021. So we are excited about this, and we continue to do this work, continue to build into and nurture the residents in the neighborhood of South City. So thank you very much for this recognition.
And this is yours? Thank you. Yes. Did you get me turn your chair? Okay. Okay. Take a picture. You turn around. She's going to give y'all certificates. We're going to come take a picture. Yep.
Congratulations, graduating class. Madam Comptroller, please call item 3.
Item number 3 is a resolution recognizing and honoring the graduating class of Memphis Academy of Civil Engagement, MACE. This resolution is sponsored by council members White and Smiley.
Councilman Smiley and Councilwoman White, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. I had to have Councilman J.B. Smiley come down here because this is his brainchild. If we could have Miss Sharika Hines and our former city councilwoman, Mrs. Tawan Stout Mitchell, along with the MACE graduates.
First of all, I just want to, thank the council for supporting this program back in 2021 when I had an idea of trying to find a way to get people more engaged with city government so they can learn more about our community. And what ended up happening is we've created graduates who leave this program more informed. They feel more empowered to get involved in our community, and they become advocates for our community. But deeply appreciative of the Honorable Tawan Stout Mitchell and Ms. Himes. So I would love just to create space for them to just talk about the wonderful things that this program is doing.
Good evening. Thank you all so much for this privilege and this opportunity. First of all, I want to say thank you to the City Council for approving this program. It has been such a tremendous impact in the community. We are so fortunate to have so many citizens that come down, want to understand the inner workings of government, want to understand how they can also be a part of the solutions in our community, how they can have deep impact in their neighborhoods. And we want to say thank you to our partners at Public Safety, both at the Memphis Fire and Memphis Police Department. But it is because of these citizens who dedicate their time and their energy to being a part of the change that they want to see in Memphis. Thank you so much.
Now, I had said that I wouldn't speak because I'm a little hoarse. I just want you to know that Memphis is a great city. It's a great city to love, make your home, work, play, and also fellowship. And it's always an humbling experience when you see citizens who take their time for 7 weeks, 2 and 3 hours a session, to learn as much as they can about Memphis and where they can use their talent. It was not long ago, and every time you sit in those seats, you must feel honored and humbled, because people entrust their neighborhoods and communities to you. It's an humbling experience to serve. And that's why I'm glad they have an opportunity to see such fine leadership here in Memphis, and especially my colleague, Mr. Ford. But especially my colleague, Mr. Ford. I feel very honored to have served with him and to know all of you, and thank you for investing in our future.
Absolutely.
So the Memphis City Council commends these graduates for their dedication to civic engagement and their efforts to strengthen the fabric of our city. Congratulations to Myosha Alexander, William Arnold, Mayana Bailey, Sherika Blair, Dr. Maria Blaze, Doris Carter, Smori Cooper, Dominique Davis, Marquarius Hampton Sr., Sydney Jones, Carlisha Jones, Kizzy Jones, Terrell Jones, Go Joneses, Faith Marshall, Candace McKinney, Arquita Moore McCain, Demetric Muhammad, Maria Richardson, Audrey Sutton, Teresa Ward, Christopher Eugene West, and Elena Wiltgen. Thank you all for demonstrating such a strong commitment to learning, leadership, and service. And you all represent a growing network of informed citizens dedicated to building a better Memphis. Thank you all for all that you do, too. You want to take a? We're going to take a quick picture right over here.
Congratulations. Congratulations, graduates. Colleagues, before we move on, I want to recognize and welcome Muslim Voices for Change Fellowship with the American Muslim Advisory Council. They are guests today of Councilwoman Yolanda Cooper Sutton. Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, would you like to say anything? I know that you have something to give them. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today for our Memphis City Council meeting.
Thank you, Chair. These students are the American Muslim Advisory Council here. And we are so honored. I had the pleasure of being in their presence. They came to learn about the policies and legislation here at the city of Memphis. Myself, the mayor, and a couple more administrators came, and I just wanted to tell them thank you. They asked, can we come back? Can we come back to a meeting? And I said, you sure can. And so thank you. Just excited about what you all are doing and how you're moving forward and your love for this country, because we love you, okay?
Thank you for joining us. And Dr. Nabil Bayakli, welcome. Thank you for being here. It's good to see you. You're good.
We appreciate you. Although our name sounds a little bit different, and I know sometimes some people were laughing at us here for our names, but we've been here for so long, and we really appreciate all the opportunities that Memphis really give us. And we also like to give back to the city here as well. We as Muslims, we are really proud to be the fabric of this city. You probably don't know that in 1990, it was really the case of Dr. Muhammad Talib Karim, who really sued the city of Memphis so that you will have more representation, more fair representation for everybody, for African Americans and minorities to be on the city of Memphis. It used to be they had a councilman at large, and that really took away all the representation of the minorities. So just as we do have that contribution, we also would like to show that there are a lot of other things that really our community had offered to the city of Memphis, and we're very proud Memphians as well. Many of us were born and raised here, and they went to public schools here, and we're very, very proud to represent the city of Memphis. And we really thank the council for providing us this opportunity to be here as well and to recognize our effort. We appreciate you, Dr. Kennedy.
Thank you, Dr. Bayakli. Colleagues, please forgive me. I did not mention it in executive and did not mention it at the beginning of the meeting, but item 4 was held in planning and zoning. So item 4 will be held for 3 weeks until the January 13th meeting. Madam Comptroller, would you please call, the second meeting in January. So that would be the 27th of January. Item 4 held till the 27th. Madam Comptroller, would you please take us to item number 5?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 5 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a planned development at the subject property located at 7913 Dexter Road. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is PD 25-14.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. This item was sent down with a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
Item 5 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Espinosa. Does any member wish to hear from DPD or from the applicant? Very good. Please take us to the voting screen, Madam Comptroller.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
Warren, yes.
Please show Dr. Warren is
Smiley,
voting
yes.
Please show Smiley is voting yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to item 6.
Item number 6 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 577 East Rains Road. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is SUP 25-24.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation for this site. They had an impressive plan and is even partnering with one of the local Memphis City Shelby County schools. Thank you, and I so move.
That item was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Green. I do have a comment card from Dr. Talisa Franklin. Dr. Franklin, you're recognized.
Thank you so much. Pull my little notes up.
If you would give us your name and address for the record before you begin.
Absolutely. Dr. Talisa Franklin, 1755 Ash, Memphis, Tennessee, 38108. Good afternoon, City Council members. As we gather for the final meeting of this year, I want to acknowledge the citizens of Memphis and our local government. We've been fortunate to have incredible leaders like you, yet we face many challenges that often go unseen. In this chamber, we as men and women of faith are united in prayer for you and the decisions that will propel our city forward. Inspired by the Bible's call, follow peace with all men. We are actively engaging in a prayer watch with many prayer groups throughout this city is joining us at this very moment. We are praying not just here in the chambers, but online and in various groups, believing God's guidance as we look towards 2026 and work together in unity. The scripture reminds us, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, then will I hear from heaven and heal their land. This urgency resonates deeply as we gather today. I genuinely wish for the best for my community. I encourage each of you to join us in a moment of prayer as we physically are present here, but we are spiritually connected to those praying across our Memphis city. Remembering the scripture that warns us of our responsibility, the blood will be on our hands. As we conclude 25 and reflect on the city affairs, I pray as we enter 2026, our decisions will prioritize the collective needs of Memphis over personal interests. I also invite everyone that's in this chambers, they're wearing red, symbolizing the blood of Jesus. This serves as a powerful reminder to our city council that we all share the responsibility for the direction in which we take. The Bible asks, what can wash away our sins? And its answer, nothing but the blood of Jesus. As we approach this final governing meeting of the year, we're faced many ups and downs from our school board to our county commission and to our Memphis City Council. Yet I have faith in God and in each of you that together we can strive to do what's right for Memphis, Tennessee. May God bless you and may God keep you.
Thank you, Dr. Franklin. Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out 4 or against number 6. 4? Okay, thanks.
All right. Seeing no other members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen for item 6. Correct. Members, please cast your votes for 6.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 7.
Item number 7 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 1032 Hell Road. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is SUP 25-27.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
7 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Spinoza. Colleagues, anybody wish to hear from DPD or the applicant? Okay, please take us to the voting screen. Colleagues, cast your votes for item 7.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item number 8.
Item number 8 is a resolution pursuant to Chapter 9.6 of the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code, approving a special use permit at the subject property located at 5133 Park Avenue. This resolution is sponsored by the Division of Planning and Development. The case number is SUP 25-32.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation, and I so move.
Item 8 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Spinoza. I have one comment card. Mr. Nehemiah Hardaway, if you would approach the podium, you give us your name and address. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Right. Thank you, Chair. Nehemiah Hardaway, 5442 Sundale Way, Memphis, Tennessee. I just wanted to bring some things to your attention concerning this item. It's 5133 to Orange Mountain Park. We, with the Fraternal Order of Police, of course, we've been moving and discovering different things. And the gas stations we have really been looking at, that's why I think the elder who came from India, well, he's now currently staying in Utah. We just played against Utah, but I'm just showing you the connections spiritually. And we have been finding some issues with some people who own these gas stations. And so I just want to inform you to take a closer look at the expansion of this gas station. Now, I have Miss Bazara behind me here, and so I'll talk to her privately, and so I'll have some of my concerns, hopefully, those questions answered, and then we can move forward, and I'll be able to email you all privately as well concerning this matter. But I just want to inform everyone to please take a close look at the gas stations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hardaway. Colleagues, any questions? Anybody want to hear from Mrs. Salomino Baser or? All right. Name and address.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brenda Salamito, Baser, Salamito Land Planning, 1779 Kirby Parkway, Memphis. The applicant, Mr. Anwar Aman, partnering with the applicant on the record, has been developing these particular stores in Memphis for the last 15 years or so. We are just under construction on one at the Polo Grounds near Top Golf. He's built extensively in the suburbs in Collierville, Germantown, Bartlett. He is a resident of Memphis and Shelby County. He has his offices in Collierville. His wife was on the Design Review Commission in Collierville. So they are Memphians, and they live at Southwind, and so they are here permanently.
All right, colleagues, anybody want to hear from DPD? All right, if anybody has any questions, I would ask that you kindly get in the queue. Councilman Smiley, you recognize.
To DPD, is there any opposition, written opposition or anything? No opposition, written opposition. Okay, and it was, okay. It was all for me.
All right, anybody else? All right, please take us to the voting screen, Madam Comptroller.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to our regular agenda to item number 34.
Item number 34 is a resolution to amend the fiscal year 2026 operating budget, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration. It was held from December 2nd.
Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee met. I can't remember the recommendation, but it moved to the floor. I think it was no recommendation. Yeah, I believe this came down with no recommendation. I'll move it to the floor for discussion.
All right, 34 was moved by Carlisle, seconded by Green. Councilman Smiley, you're recognized.
I didn't know I was in the queue. I just want a point of information. This is the fire item, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Call the question.
All right, colleagues, there's nobody else in the queue, but before I go to the voting screen, I do have one comment card. Mr. John.
Hold on, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
All right, easy. First off, when we call a question, technically there's supposed to be a vote on that. It just ends debate, and then there's a vote on whether to call the question.
All right.
But I know that our rules typically lend hand. I think, given the fact that we're talking about a $2 million change to the budget in the middle of the year, maybe just a touch. I think, Mr. Chairman, if I may. Good, thank you. I guess I motioned to hold at last meeting in order to try and work on a solution that would acknowledge what the council is trying to do specific to fire employees. I spent 35 or 40 hours going through 8 years of audits. I could not get answers to questions on this year's current audit. I failed through committee to get specific answers to specific questions with specific numbers. The more that I spent time with the audit, the more I realized kind of where we're at. And honestly, I'm going to save a lot of it for the new year because I really think it more applies to the tone and tenor about how we go about what we call the budget versus our general financial health. And they're two different things. But ultimately, I didn't find a single trigger because I couldn't get the complete information to tie a trigger to in order to make sure we're in financial health. I could continue to go through every metric for 2.5 hours on why no business, public entity under the sun should make this decision today based on the current information it has. Partial would be an understatement. I can answer financial questions, but I don't really think everybody wants them the way they want to hear them, and we'd probably be here too long. To say that we have a spending problem would be an understatement of epic proportion. Incrementally, we've spent over $500 million in the last 5 years. You've got $200 million in Accelerate Memphis that was incremental to our $97 million a year that we would issue in GO bonds. We picked up an incremental $260+ million in federal funding. Guess what? Our property tax collections were on point the whole time. State sales tax, on point the whole time. We had moments where there were gaps in what we used to budget to, meaning if you go back and look at our audits to budget, we would pick up an extra 20 to 40 million throughout the year to budget. Well, budget's what you make it. And obviously you're relying on the information given to you by the administrators at that time, meaning we're crossing administrations. So when I say to you that we collected mainly, like we lost, Mayor Strickland, we lost the Hall income tax. That's true. But it was made up by state formula. So there was no real funding gap. So when I say incremental, hard cash that has gone out the door. And you're like, but that's okay. We did real work. We did parks. We did, right? And so it's like, what is the financial picture? Well, we raised taxes. We spent an extra $500 million, and then you have to ask yourself, did we get there? And that's the question that we'll broach, I think, January, February, March, going into budget season to make sure that we are having that understanding. We could get into it today, but I know you don't want to, and we need to keep the main thing the main thing. I've had a very good working relationship with Chief Person. I just heard someone ask if he's here. And again, I'm not saying that there's anything nefarious or malicious going on. I think there's just a lot of questions that cannot be answered today. Now, that's okay. We've made decisions on partial information before. I respect that. I respect every member's reason why they make it. I will tell you, as the 3, maybe 4-year budget chairman, it will not be on sound financial grounds. Full stop. When Jim Strickland took office in 2015, our unassigned fund balance was $91 million. He took office because his sole responsibility was to build back a city that had been gutted by bad financial decisions, long-term liabilities, and reduced revenues. Cut first responder pay and benefits. When he left office, the unassigned fund balance is $114 million. Today, it sits at $91 million cash on hand. In accounting terms, it's actually less than that. It's 91 net its liabilities, which we know are 15 million. So it's really 76 million. You're going to draw down an extra 2 million. So now you're at 74 million. The state's fiscal policy is 8% fund balance. If you read our bond reports from Moody's or S&P, everything has been shifted to negative outlook. That is not anybody in the fire department's fault. That is not anybody in the association's fault. They advocate the way they want to, and we allow it to happen because we are the keepers of the ecosystem here. That goes for every other association, every other employee that comes down, or anybody that talks to us. I promise I'm going to wrap this up, but it's a pretty big thing, especially since I spent 35 hours. I feel like I got a little bit minute to talk here on it. Over that time, the city has declined in population, so every time we raise taxes, it's over the same base. You heard me today. Our second largest taxpayer went from Bell South Communications, Wolf Chase Galleria, to the Memphis Center City Revenue Finance Corporation, holding $300 million worth of real estate. The last and final thing that I will say, and I'll be quiet, that I take very personal issue with, and I will direct it because I believe we were friends, Mr. Malone, but personally, you know that I never entered into an agreement on any 2-year deal. One, I can't. I've been clear that we cannot be bound. And even in our very first year together, remember, we tried to work through a couple things, but I respect your position. But I will not be called a liar. I will not be called a cheat. I will not be called anything other than what I am, which is I do what I say I'm going to do. I work my tail off for the city. And I'm not saying that anybody else here doesn't. I'm just speaking for myself. And I've built an entire political reputation on that, and I hold that very dear. I've always tried to support everybody's needs and wishes within some sort of economic reason. I'm telling you now that we are getting to the end of that rope. For far too long, it is always, we will figure it out. And Memphis has always bumped along and survived. But I want you to step back from just City Hall and think about what is happening out in the environment. Shelby County is having its issues on revenues. They had to go to the state comptroller to borrow money from its debt service fund. Our public transportation system has a trustee. Our Memphis City School Board is about to sue the county commission. They have a $2 billion budget that received $500 million in federal funding, and somehow we're still fixing HVAC units. We spent an incremental $500 million and somehow managed to raise taxes. So my point is like, I'm telling you that we may have the cash in the account today, but that is not going to last if we don't make changes soon. I know a lot of people hear the term broke and they're like, furniture out, bar doored, or door barred and on the street. I'm saying we're broke if we don't make changes. We cannot continue down this. It is an unsustainable path. You cannot go tax the same base. The people that are mobile will leave. This is a yellow flashing light from where I'm sitting, and maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'm an idiot. But my biggest thing is this. This body has the final authority over the budget because it's important that it does. The mayor offered 0%. The impasse committee accepted a recommendation of 5, and this full body in the place that it counts said 3 across the board for everybody. I respect what is being lobbied for, but I don't know how it's any different for any other association whose agreements were passed and what would stop them to come. So for me, not only is it a $2 million problem, it's a $29 million problem, or even $19 million if you want to bump it down to the general fund, because if I'm in another organization, I'm going to come and say, well, they got their mid-year raise that was promised in impasse, where's mine? Those are just my general thoughts. It has nothing to do with the performance of our fire department or the individuals that are elected to lobby for them. I won't get into the overtime and some of those things. Those I will hold for other members. But in the reality, because I don't want to make it about the people, but in the reality, this body didn't mislead the public. It is not a party to an MOU between the mayor and the associations. We're just not. There's no signed agreement. We typically, and this is the truth, we typically agree to those deals because it takes the pressure off of budget season. It literally saves months and hours and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in salaries, legal fees, and everybody's opportunity cost to come down here from December and sometimes all the way to July to deal with the same 5 groups instead of proactively going about what we really want to do. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. I respect everybody's position in this. I really do. But on a personal level, I'm not going to be called a liar or a thief or saying that I went back on my word. I've been crystal clear from the beginning of what I think our authority is, about where our position is and how I've gone through it, and I know other members probably feel the same. But at the end of the day, I respect everybody's vote on this, but I'm telling you right now, if you think we, quote, have the money, yes, there is cash in the account, but you do not have the longevity to go the distance if we continue to spend this way. And I'll just add the last thing on this debt cliff. The mayor said it himself. Whatever huge number was thrown out there 4 or 5 years ago, as was indicated when we said, hey, that's going to get eaten up by cost, leases, and obligations and inflation, it did. And the comment was, it's going to take a minute to build up. So unless there is some other large federal chunk of money coming, we've got to work with what we've got to work with. And to Dr. Warren's point last meeting, or you can raise taxes again. With that, I yield the floor.
Thank you, Councilman Carlisle. I've got any other members wish to speak? All right, I've got 2 public comment cards. John Sink, you're up first. Name and address. For the record, you have 2 minutes, sir.
John Sink of 1599 Vinton. I yield my time.
All right, Amber Sherman.
I yield my time. My name is Amber Sherman. My address is 6070 North Belgrove Cove. I just want to talk about how this is definitely fiscally irresponsible if y'all agree to this. Every year we have this budget season and folks talk about how we either have to raise taxes or we have to cut things, and actual citizens in Memphis don't get the services we need. but y'all continue to approve things or, make people feel like they're gonna get a raise when you don't have the money to pay for it. And the new fire chief himself said they are not underpaid. I know several firefighters, they definitely aren't underpaid. They just aren't getting what they wanted, but we don't have the money to do that. And Memphians are gonna suffer if you agree to give them something that we don't currently have. And I really think it's important, especially going into this next budget season, that y'all are more fiscally responsible and listening to Memphians about what we want to be funded. Because I ain't mentioned nothing about no firefighters. We did talk about parks. We did talk about summer school. We talked about summer camp. We talked about more recreational things. We still don't even have pools open, but we're talking about giving firefighters more money they don't have. Like, we as a city do not have the money to pay it. So stop voting for things or approving things when you know you don't have the money anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. All right, colleagues, nobody else in the, all right, Councilwoman White, you're recognized. All right, then followed by Logan.
Well, I've given my whole spiel about my logic behind this, I think 3 times now. I'm not gonna go for try number 4. So my question is, and I don't know if there's someone from the administration or my colleagues, when we left here the last time, it was what pot of money is this gonna come from specifically? I know towards the end of committee, it was mentioned that some additional money had been found from, I think, reimbursements. Then when we got down here, we discussed another pot of money. At one point I proposed, but I don't think I made a motion for it to come from the overtime line. And then we left with Councilwoman Green giving a recommendation. Where did we land on how this is going to be paid for, like funded?
Thank you, Councilwoman White. Chief Adams.
Antonio Adams, Chief Operating Officer of the City of Memphis, 125 North Main. It is my understanding that this money is a reimbursement for training that firefighters received. This money was originally supposed to be booked in FY25, and it was received in FY26. That money will be coming from the fire departments or fire divisions personnel line.
So, okay, and I can't remember if you were here last time, Chief Adams, at that last meeting. So kind of and I think, I'm sorry, because it's like I think, aside from that money, we were discussing some other options, because the whole idea is that that's still money that should technically go back to the general fund. It's still the same pot of money. Does that make sense? And we don't have to go, I'm sure Councilman Carlisle is gonna go through and explain that. And so we were looking at some other alternatives to fund it, we were trying to find something that fiscally was responsible and made sense in light of us trending down in expected revenues and exceeding budgeted expenditures. And so I said, if this is the will of the body, one thing that I recommended was that it come from the overtime line, being that fire, at the time of our quarterly report, was about $1 million under what their quarterly budget would be for that point in time. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
No.
And so we were saying to take the 1.7 from the overtime. And so I didn't know, in the resolution, it doesn't specifically say where it would come from. And then the other thing that I would maybe propose is, in addition to that, is a consideration, and I don't know if Chief Person is here, and then we have Chief Fouché here too. I don't know if, well, let's just start there, the overtime budget line.
So I'll say this, in talking to the fire department or in Chief Perez and his team, taking overtime at this particular point in time is not the best course of action, as we need to move forward through the holidays and then move into critical days where we do see spikes in activity. So overtime will be needed. with respect to other items and the other areas in the personnel line, we've looked at in past full-time salaries. What we've looked at full-time salaries is that we would delay classes. Right now, they are at an attrition rate of replacing 1 for 1. So it would only exacerbate an issue with respect to replacing personnel. So again, our logic was to take that reimbursable and actually reallocate that reimbursable. I definitely understand the argument and the logic with respect to not using that, but that is where we identified that was unobligated dollars that we could use this year to cover that 2%. So I'm not saying no. I'm just giving you our thought pattern.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Carlisle.
Thank you. I think the chief financial officer is on the way, but I think the point is on the reimbursement. This is my point. There's too much dancing around using the term budget and budget year and fiscal year. Like, we don't get to the end of the race and then leave the arena and then go play at the next arena. It's one house. And the point is that we came $15 million out of pocket to pick up 101 positions the year before that were unaccounted for. That cost us $15 million worth of credit, which affects our borrowing ability, which means every year we pay more to borrow money. So when you, quote, find a reimbursable, you need to put it back where you found it, and you found it in the unassigned fund balance so that when we go borrow money, it's not as expensive. This is the stuff that I'm like, I'm trying to be professional here. I'm not going to argue any more about it. At some point, it's going to get real ugly because I know what I'm talking about. And I know that because I've sat here in the prior administration and been and certain times and this, that, and the other. And here's the reality. Like, again, I've gone through these documents. I wish that I had a whole team to go through them. But I'm going to say this one more time. That $2.2 million came in because we spent money, and it came back to pay us back for it because we had personnel expenses, et cetera. I got that. That is not net new revenue. It is obligated to pay back the thing that it went to expense. Furthermore, it's an ongoing obligation versus something else like a bonus, which is not. And that is the other issue. Like, if you go back and look at our bond rating, it is the ongoing pensioner's obligation that continues to be these problems. If you read our audit from last year, one of the specific notes continues to talk about the increased OPEB pensioners and premium obligations related to all of the first responder raises. Like, we spent an incremental $100 million from 2015 to 2023 on just public safety. Maybe actually less than that. I mean, shorter years, same amount of money. So my point to you is I don't want to make it about, it's not about fire or AFSCME or non-represented. It is, if we are going to make this decision, make it because you want to give fire a raise. Stop telling me you have the money somewhere in the account. The cash, yeah, it's physically there. It will be there till it runs out. But every time you draw down on that or pretend like we are not going to have this liability, like it's magically, to the point he just said we can't manage the overtime. They know they're going to run into all that overtime. So when we get to the end of the year, whether you drew it out overtime or not, there's going to be a reconciliation. We know that. You're just adding $2 million to it. And if you want to vote for that, do it. I'm cool with that. But we're not going to talk around how or why we're doing it. That's all I'm going to say, and I will leave it alone. Thank you. Antonio, you know I love you, but like, we're trying to find ways to make it stick the right way narrative-wise, and that is a true thing to say. We received the money this year, you technically use it this year. But the idea that we're going to not acknowledge what happened the year before in the budget, like the two are unmarried, is insane to me. Because again, we started at $114 million in 2023, and now we are down to $91 million in the unassigned fund balance, and we're going to draw down another $10 million. We're down to $81 million. When does it stop? When the comptroller comes in? The last time that we had to cut salaries was because we had ongoing pension liabilities, increasing salaries, and less revenues. And you can ask Attorney Wade what the temperature was down in the room in 2012, 2013, 2014. Pretty dicey. I yield the floor.
Thank you, Councilman Carlisle. Councilwoman Logan.
Thank you, Chair. I want to say this. When I came on board, the one thing that I have said since I got here that I said to Chief Person and to Chief Adams is, we do not want to spend all of our money. We want to keep in our rainy day fund. We do not want to spend all of our savings. We do not want to have bad credit. You know, there are some things that as a city is so important. Our credit rating is so important for our the debt that we get, that we are able to do projects with. You know, changing that credit rating is going to change the trajectory of how we're able to borrow money, and that debt service pays a lot of things that we use. And just having the responsibility as a council member for the fiscal soundness of your city, I know several other cities that are, you know, in trouble financially in our state, and we already know how the state handles us as it relates to our finances. So we have to really be prudent as to how we move within that savings. And unfortunately, a lot of the information that we have now, or that I have now, did not have before we went through the impasse process. Because during the impasse process, we all want to be hopeful, and we all want to give what that, you know, show our gratitude and stand how we stand behind our employees. However, if, you know, information comes along after that lets us know that that may not be the best idea, that's why we have that whole process. And so it is unfortunate that, you know, we don't have, even now, some of the information that we've requested. We can at any point give raises. We can at any point come back to this. Right now, not having all of the information that is needed, that has been requested, and it appears that we're going to come back in January and look at that. You know, it changes the way we may have looked at it previously. So I do want to say for the public consumption that you may hear that we lied, or we, you know, said one thing during that time, but that's not actually the case. If you get more information, you're more informed, you have to make a better decision. Not that it won't happen, it just may not be the perfect time now. And so I did want to let the constituents know, because another thing that we've always said is that we need to pay our staff, we need higher wages in our city. And so we are for higher wages, and that starts with the city government. But we have to do it responsibly. And I would like for us to be able to plan for that and to look at exactly where we are in determining that way forward. So I just wanted to share that for the public, because we are responsible for making sure that we stay sound fiscally as a city. Thank you. I yield back, Chair.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Smiley.
Thank you. Well, I usually like to talk a little longer, but not today. Council voted on this in 24. We said we're going to do it. I think for the time I've been on this council for a significant amount of time, when it comes to issues of the budget, we defer to the full-time employees. And the full-time employees are telling us today that they can find the money within the budget. So I'm not sure why we're spending so much time talking about this, but I do understand the concern. But I'm gonna toss it to Councilman Ford and let him close it up. And with that, we'll just call the question.
All right. I've been here a long time, y'all. I've been working on the budget for over 25 years, every year. I wasn't here and I was working on the budget. I'm very serious right now. You know, people talk, but they talk around the budget. I'm talking about the budget, okay? We wasted a lot of time. It's not gonna hurt, and you can believe me, out of all the time I've been working on budget, first thing on my mind, make sure our ratings are gonna be right, okay? I don't mess with nothing that's gonna mess with the ratings. You can go and call all the other mayors, okay? I'll go back to Harrington, okay? called him, asked him about me working with the budget. It was on certain things that I was concerned about. Okay? Like I said, when I got off this, I was still maybe behind the scenes. But the budget is very important. Money's there. Let's wake up, y'all. We're wasting a lot of time. Don't be like across the street. Now, let me get you across the street since we're talking about the control. Hell, if the mayor that was upstairs, not our mayor, across the street, with those commissioners would have done their job, I'm gonna go back to budget. My son worked on the budget. They didn't want him to be the budget chair no more. They wanted to bring in somebody that didn't even know numbers. Flunk math. But if you check it around, I'm serious now. Controller came in because, hell, they did not turn in nothing. They didn't know what to turn in. That's why they are dealing with the controller now. They got to call and say, can I spend this money now? Controller 4 years. Even sent them nicely. She said, just fill this out. That's how trifling they were over there. Since we want to talk about control, we got a little more sense than across the street. You know, I mean, we got a little more sense. I think we need to vote this on, get beyond this. Money's there. Everybody keeps saying it's not, it is, it's this. Oh, it's there. It is there. It's not going to affect anything. It's not going to affect our ratings or anything like that. I've already checked that out, okay? But I'm just tired of talk. Okay? I don't want to give the fire department anything, to be honest. But what's going on? Yes. Okay? And I think once we deal with this, we'll deal with all of the rest. And things are going on with the rest of them. Okay? And I think we all be okay. Let's get this beyond us. And when January comes, let's do what we're supposed to be doing, okay? Let's not talk all this now. You know, us talking, I've been going to a meeting across the street. You know, I've been there. And wow, they put you to sleep. And then they go back and you know what? They talk, mimic, this, that, and the other, and always go back to the same motion again. That's how bad they are. Let us not be like that. Okay, we need to move forward. Chase, I love you to death. But I done had many more budgets that I worked on. And I worked on, and let's see, I don't know, you wasn't here. How were you? But we used to have budget. You were here? Yes. Yeah. We were here working on budgets at 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was the chair. They wanted to just say, well, let's do this, that, and the other, and I recessed on them and said, now when you get these numbers right, we can go back into session. I told them, I said, order pizza for them to eat. Do you remember that? They said, well, can we do this while we eat pizza? No, you eat the pizza and you think about it first. And then let's come back and do what's supposed to be. You remember that, don't you? We had those numbers, everything correct, okay? You know, we went through a lot with COVID, okay? Strickland and everybody else, not just him, Everybody was getting money, they forgot about the future. They didn't know that it was gonna come to an end sooner or later. Okay? That's what we're looking at, but hey, if you look at some of these other cities, hey, we're doing much, much better. We got 2 men out there, hey, 2 great people out there, know what they're doing. And I'm gonna be quiet, but I think we just need to call for the vote and vote your country today. Let's get this over and move forward. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Okay. I'm through. Thank you, Councilman Smiley.
Thank you, Councilman Ford. Councilwoman Walker, and then we're going to go to the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would have to say that this is one of my most disappointing moments since I've been on the council. I really don't understand why the lawsuit was filed. We said we would make good in January. January is less than a month away. And so I don't understand why, I really don't understand why the lawsuit was filed. And this council does support the raise, in case some of you all are not clear. This entire council, as far as I know, supports the raise, but we're not clear on the money, where the money is or is not. So how can we have the money and then not have the money simultaneously? It's kind of like faith and fear can't occupy the same space at the same time. So how can we have the money, then not have the money at the same time? But in closing, I just want to repeat myself and say I'm not clear on why the lawsuit was filed in the first place. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I yield the floor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. All right, Madam Comptroller, please take us to the voting screen for item 34.
Carlisle, no. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, abstain. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, no. Warren, yes. White, abstain. Chairman Canali, yes. Please show Councilmember Sutton as voting yes on this item. Please show her as voting no on this item. Thank you. I'll tell you the yeses. One moment, please. Not counting Cooper Sutton, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 8 yeses, sir.
That item passes. Yes, sir.
When you have faith, you fear nothing. Faith always overrides fear. I just want to say this, you know, Lord said, burdens. He said, bring your burdens and leave them there. The problem with a lot of people, they take their burdens to him and you fear and say, hey, I'm still worrying about it. So you know what? That tells God that you do not believe in me. But if you take it to him and you leave it there and go on about your business, he can show up and show out. And if anybody can say that, I'm a witness. I am a witness. Because 20-something years ago, they tried to send me through pure deep hell. For 3 years. My lawyer thought I was crazy. Okay? Everybody really thought. But I took it, I left it there, and shot. Everything that I told my attorney, it happened. Okay? My attorney gave me a big old bill. But let me just say this now. After everything was over, he came to me and said, hey, you just made a believer out of me. You owe me not a dime. So take that, everybody. I want y'all to take it. Because, hey, he can show up, show out. All you have to do is just leave it there. Thank you. I just had to say that because I'm a witness of it, okay?
Thank you, Councilman. Madam Comptroller, please take us to item 35.
Item 35 on our add-on agenda is an appointment, Planning and Development Director, Brett Ragsdale, and there's a request for same night minutes.
Councilwoman Dr. Easter Thomas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee recommends unanimous approval, and I so move for same night minutes.
Item 35, I didn't see. You beat me to it, Madam Comptroller. Moved by Easter Thomas, seconded by Green. No members in the queue. Mr. Ragsdale, you want to speak?
Very briefly, thank
Yes,
you, Mr.
sir.
Chairman and members of the council. Brett Ragsdale, wanted to say thank you for your support for this appointment, and I look forward to continuing the important work of the division. And just a quick thanks to my family for being here as well. So thank you this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Ragsdale. We look forward to continuing to work with you. We appreciate you, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, why don't you take us to the voting screen?
You weren't coming down here.
Somebody's getting a picture with him. Don't talk yourself out of it.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Where's Carlisle? Okay. Easter, thank you. Carlisle? Ma'am? Everybody, I'm just waiting on everybody. Thank you.
Congrats.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item now passes. Congratulations, sir. Madam Comptroller, please call item 36.
Item number 36 is a reappointment. Reappointment of Darius Jones to the Solid Waste Municipal Planning Board and appointments of Nick Kwan and Andy Kizzy. There is a request for same night minutes. These are appointments and reappointments to the Solid Waste Municipal Planning Board.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Councilwoman Dr. Easter Thomas, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee recommends approval, and I so move for same night minutes.
36 was moved by Easter Thomas, seconded by Carlisle. Colleagues, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe 2 were not available in committee, and the council wanted to hear from them. They're not coming tonight. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Comments? Do you want to hear from the appointees? All right. Mr. Jones, you're recognized.
No, Chair, I'd just like to thank you and the City Council for support on this nomination to the Solid Waste Region Board. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kwan? Yes, sir.
Hey, yes, Nick Kwan, Solid Waste Administrator, 125 North Main. Just want to thank y'all for the appointment. I've been working at the city for going on 15 years now. Started from the bottom as a mechanic helper. Here I am now, hopefully to do good things and help out the community.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kizzy, is he here?
He left.
Okay. You going to speak on his behalf, Director Davis?
Yes. Philip Davis, 2081 Old Oak Drive, Solid Waste Director. Yeah, Andy Kizzy, the other nominee, he was present this morning in committee. He's the head of the Binghamton Development Corporation, very involved in solid waste and recycling initiatives. And we are happy to have him on board with the Solid Waste Board.
Great, thank you, sir. Madam Comptroller, please take us to the voting screen for these appointments for 36.
Council members, please cast your vote for the appointments. Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Congratulations. Thank you, gentlemen. Madam Comptroller, please call item 37.
Item number 37 on our add-ons is a resolution to allocate and appropriate $2,600,000 in City Council Community Grant Funds to nonprofit agencies for FY26. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the Memphis City Council. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee recommends approval, and I so move.
37 was moved by Carlisle. Can I get a second by Warren? Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter, Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Please show Councilmember Smiley is voting yes on this item. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 38.
Item number 38 is a resolution to allocate, appropriate, and transfer a sum total of $3,920,000 from the Leftwich Tennis Center project number PK03005, award 11516, to the first part of the city's pledge of funding to the Audubon Golf Clubhouse, project number PK to be announced, and to the design of phase 2 of the Jesse Turner Park improvements, project PK, number to be announced later. Districts 4 and 5, Super Districts 8 and 9. This resolution is sponsored by the administration, and there is a request for same-night minutes.
Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee recommends approval, and I so move.
38 was moved by Carlisle, seconded by Warren. I know this resolution was sponsored by the administration, but I would love for the whole council to sponsor this, co-sponsor this as well. I think this is very meaningful. It's something that everybody was supportive of upstairs.
Without objection, Mr. Chairman.
Madam Comptroller, please take us to the voting screen. About this item. Madam Comptroller, will you please hold the voting screen? And Councilwoman Dr. Easter Thomas is going to ask Attorney Wade a question. Thank you. All right. Members, have you all casted your votes for 38? And whenever everybody casts their votes, you can release the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Thank you, colleagues. Please, Madam Comptroller, please call item 39.
Item number 39 is a resolution authorizing final payment of FY 2026 tax equivalent payment from Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division's electric system and total distribution of the FY 2026 tax equivalent payment to taxing jurisdictions in Shelby County, Tennessee. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by MLGW, and there is a request for same-night minutes.
Councilman Spinoza, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Canale. Committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
39 was moved by Spinoza, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 40.
Item number 40 is a resolution authorizing final payment of the FY 2026 tax equivalent payment from Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division's gas system and total distribution of the FY 2026 tax equivalent payment to taxing jurisdictions in Shelby County, Tennessee. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by MLGW. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Councilman Spinoza, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
Item 40 was moved by Spinoza, seconded by Warren. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Ford, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us back to our MLGW fiscal consent items, numbers 12 through 24.
Item number 12 is a resolution approving contract number 12658, Reliability Coordination Agreement for a period of January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026, stipulating that a sum of $1,147,890 will be furnished by the Division for the Tennessee Valley Authority to act as MLGW's designated reliability coordinator. Item number 13 is a resolution approving ratification, renewal, scope change, and increase to contract number 12276, mobile radio replacement with Leonardo U.S. Cyber and Security Solutions, LLC, to ratify, renew, expand the scope, and increase the current contract in the funded amount of $819,262. Item number 14 is a resolution awarding contract number 12601, IPS Energy, to IPS Energy USA, Inc., in the funded not to exceed amount of $479,216. Item number 15 is a resolution awarding contract number 12661, variable frequency drive for the LNG plant to Agilix Solutions in the funded amount of $759,412. Item number 16 is a resolution awarding purchase order for a number 5 vertical turbine pump and motor assembly to Wastewater Solutions, LLC, in the amount of $229,445. Item number 17 is a resolution awarding contract number 12610, Allen Pumping Station Reservoir, baffling and piping installation to Kajax Contractors, Inc., in the funded amount of $12,750,000. Item number 18 is a resolution approving ratification and renewal to contract number 12435, external corrosion direct assessment with Integrity Solutions Field Services, Inc., to ratify and renew the current contract in the funded amount of $228,000. Item number 19 is a resolution approving increase to contract number 12244, Smartsheet with Smartsheet Incorporated, to increase the current contract value in the funded amount of $45,750.03. Item number 20 is a resolution awarding contract number 12547, Enterprise Synergy Frames to Gen 11 Compute Modules for VDI to Logicalis, Inc., in the funded amount of $1,104,904.50. Item number 21 is a resolution awarding purchase order for Palo Alto Firewalls for the 5G project to Unicode Technology, LLC, in the amount of $340,798. Item number 22 is a resolution awarding purchase orders for crew cab trucks with enclosed service bodies to AutoNation Ford Memphis in the amount of $163,142, and Nashville Automotive, LLC, doing business as Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC, for $88,500. Item number 23 is a resolution approving renewal to contract number 12563, MLG Flower Planting, Mulch Maintenance, and Turf Area Management with Enlightenment, Inc., doing business as APS Facility Maintenance, to renew the current contract in the funded amount of $95,517.12. And our final item, number 24, is a resolution approving an annual salary in the amount of $178,552.80 for a new hire to fill the vacant position of Director, Central Support Services. There is a request for same-night minutes for that item, Mr. Chairman, and that concludes your MLGW consent items.
Well done, Madam Comptroller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Spinoza, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Canale. Committee met, recommends approval, and I so move.
MLGW was moved by Spinoza, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, members, please cast your votes for the MLGW fiscal consent.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us to the consent agenda items number 9 and 10.
It should display on the monitor momentarily. On our consent agenda, we have item number 9, a referendum ordinance to amend Article 34, Section 250 of the Home Rule Charter of the City of Memphis relative to the classification of officers and positions, exemptions from article, to amend the classification of employees of the Memphis and Shelby County Public Library to allow civil service status. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5966 is sponsored by Council Members Smiley, Canale, Cooper Sutton, Easter Thomas, Ford, Green, Spinoza, Swearingen Washington, Walker, and Warren. Item number 10 is also up for first reading. Ordinance amending the Memphis and Shelby County Unified Development Code as adopted by the City of Memphis on August 10th, 2010, and by Shelby County on August 9th, 2010, as amended to revise the zoning and subdivision regulations within the City of Memphis pertaining to correctional facilities, specifically detention centers, jails, and prisons. Up for first reading, ordinance number 5958 is sponsored by Councilwoman Easter Thomas. It was held from December 2nd. Mr. Chairman, that concludes our consent agenda items.
Thank you, Madam Comptroller. Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. The committee met. There were favorable recommendations for both of these items, and I so move.
Consent was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Carlisle. Councilwoman White, you're recognized, followed by Councilwoman Green.
Thank you, Chairman. I will be recusing from this matter, specifically number 10, as I am a special counsel for the County Commission.
Please show White as a recusal. Councilwoman Green, you were recognized.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to note for the record that when item number 10, the ordinance regarding the jails, was heard in committee, I asked to be added as a co-sponsor, and that was approved without objection, so I'd just like the record to reflect that.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman. Please show Green as a co-sponsor, White as a recusal, and take us to the voting screen, please.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton abstained. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, recused. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call our fiscal consent agenda. Item number 11.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 11 is a resolution to accept grant funds in the amount of $634,009 from the U.S. Department of Justice through the United States Marshal Service Western District of Tennessee. All council districts, this resolution is sponsored by Police Services. There is a request for same-night minutes.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation to accept these grant funds, and I so move.
11 was moved by Swearingen Washington, seconded by Spinoza. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please take us back to our regular agenda. Item number 25. And for the record, Madam Comptroller, as you read it, it was amended in executive.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 25 is an ordinance to establish Memphis City Council meeting dates for 2026. Up for third and final reading, ordinance number 5965 is sponsored by council members Swearingen, Washington, and Carlisle.
Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met. There was a favorable recommendation to accept this schedule as amended, and I so move.
All right, 25 was moved by Swearingen, Washington, seconded by Carlisle. Colleagues, this is your chance to make any changes if you wish. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. Can we get before we go to the voting screen, I want everybody to see the dates in case you didn't see them in executive.
How they gonna see it? She should have that.
All right, Madam Comptroller, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to punt on 25. We'll come back to it. If you would call item number 30.
Item number 30 is displayed on the monitor. It's a resolution to accept a donation in the amount of $2,000 from Fun City Memphis LLC to help support the operation of Ridgeway Station, District 3, Super District 8. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman White, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. The committee met and recommended approval, and I so move.
30 was moved by White, seconded by Carlisle. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Spinoza, yes. Walker, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes. We show Vice Chair Swearingen, Washington, Madam Secretary voting yes on this item. Thank you.
All right, item 30 passes.
Cooper Sutton and Vice Chair Swearingen, Washington voting yes on this item.
Madam Comptroller, please call item 31.
Item number 31 is a resolution to appropriate $11 million in FY 2026 CIP funding for the Axon Enterprise Solution, project number PD 04031, all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilwoman White, you're recognized.
The committee met and recommended approval, and I so move.
31 was moved by White. Was moved by White, seconded by Smiley. Seeing the members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 32.
Item number 32 should display momentarily. It's a resolution to amend the fiscal year 2026 CIP budget by allocating and appropriating $5,100,000 and $5,900,000 in funds for the purchase of various vehicles and equipment through incurrence of indebtedness via the execution of a master equipment lease. all council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the administration.
Councilman Smiley, you're recognized.
Committee met recommended approval, and I so move. Mayor gave me permission.
32 was, I need you to move it electronically, please. 32 was moved by Smiley, seconded by Warren. I do have one comment card, Ms. Glenda Hicks.
Glenda Hicks, 608 Gillies. I reviewed the documentation that was presented on this item and was somewhat baffled. So I thought I would just come and ask my questions. So understanding that the citizenry pays, just residential citizens pay $41.96 per month on their Lygassen bill for solid waste. And if I take a mere 150,000 citizens times that, then we're looking at over $6 million a month. So I was a bit baffled as to why we're in a lease agreement with JP Morgan to purchase this equipment and why we're not just purchasing this equipment, and why are we not just purchasing it outright, given the amount of funds that are collected just on the basis of residents paying. And I know that it's more than 150,000 citizens residential. I'm not even counting the commercial, which is double that amount. So just trying to understand why we're in some lease agreement going back to 2013 based on the documentation that was provided.
Thank you, Ms. Hicks. I could answer your question, but I'm going to let Director Davis come up and speak to the specifics why he chose lease as opposed to purchase.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Philip Davis, Solid Waste Director, 2081 Old Oak Drive, Memphis 38119. Yes, good question. So we do enter into a five-year lease. It's a lease purchase. We finance these vehicles because we have about, to the commoner's point, we do have about $104 million operating budget. We have 181,000 customers that pay largely $41.96, give or take the different fee classification, but most of our customers pay $41.96 per month. That brings in about that much revenue, about $104 million. We have about a $35 million payroll for personnel. We also finance these vehicles. This is about $11 million. It's going to replace about 10% of our operating fleet, and so we finance our because of a cash flow for the operation. So this is why we do this.
Thank you, Director Davis. Madam Comptroller, please take us to the voting screen for item 32.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Please show Easter Thomas as voting yes on this item. Chairman Pinelli, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, please call item 33.
Item number 33 is a resolution to allocate and appropriate $2,600,000 in City Council community grant funds to nonprofit agencies for FY26. All council districts. This resolution is sponsored by the Budget Committee.
Councilman Carlisle, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee that recommends approval, and I so move.
33 was moved by Carlisle, seconded by Green. Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. Madam Comptroller, out of an abundance of clarity, will you reread 25 into the record?
Item number 25 is an ordinance to establish Memphis City Council meeting dates for 2026, up for third and final reading. Ordinance number 5965 is sponsored by council members Swearingen, Washington, and Carlisle.
So I spoke incorrectly earlier. It's a substitute ordinance with the changes.
For the record, it's a substitute ordinance, and we will archive as that.
Thank you. Madam Vice Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. The committee met and received a favorable recommendation for the schedule of meeting dates. It has been amended.
25 was moved by Swearingen, Washington, seconded by Carlisle. Councilman Warren, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you know, we've got meetings on January 13th and 27th, and a week from the 27th to February 3rd. If we can avoid having those throughout the year, I think it helps us some. The 6th is pretty far in from the very beginning of the year, so I'm thinking most people will be back from vacation after that weekend. They've gone out for the week of the 1st. It seems the 6th and the 20th would eliminate that problem. We've got November 2nd, I guess, or 3rd, that's right on the voting date of, I think that's election. So that's why we've moved November and moved December back. But that keeps us from having a lot of these that are just back to back as we go throughout the year. So I'd like to see if there are other people that would comment on why we shouldn't go back to the 6th and the 20th of January.
All right, colleagues, if you have any thoughts or opinions on moving the 13th to the 6th and the 27th to the 20th, the month of January, please speak up. Madam Vice Chair, you recognized.
I was going to say thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all the answer I needed.
Okay. So everybody's okay with these dates in front of them? Love these dates. Okay. All right. 25 was moved by Swearingen, Washington, seconded by Carlisle. No other members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Carlisle, yes. Cooper, Sutton, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Please show Easter Thomas as voting yes on this item. Logan, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearingen, Washington, yes. Please show Councilmember Walker as voting yes on this item. Warren, yes. White, yes. Chairman Canali, yes.
That item passes. All right, colleagues, that brings us to the end of our agenda. I believe the Vice Chair has our same night minute items available.
Thank you, Chair. Our same night minute items are items 11, 24, 25, 33, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. And I so move.
All right, same night minutes were moved by Swearingen, Washington. Need a second. Second by Smiley. Councilman Smiley, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move to make item number 34 same night minutes. Item number 34 is the item that we had much discussion about.
All right, any objection to adding 34 to our same night minutes? All right, no objection. Item 34 will be added. Please note that, Madam Comptroller, 34 to be added to the list for same night minute items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Seeing no members in the queue, please take us to the voting screen.
Cooper Sutton, yes. Easter Thomas, yes. Ford, yes. Green, yes. Smiley, yes. Spinoza, yes. Swearengin Washington, yes. Walker, yes. Warren, yes. Chairman Canale, yes.
That item passes. All right, colleagues, this brings us to the public comment portion of our meeting. Dr. Carnita Atwater, you're up first. Name and address for the record. You have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Dr. Carnita Atwater, 1098 Firestone, Memphis, Tennessee, 38107. I came to speak on the agenda 10, item 10. And I think it's a disservice and disrespectful to not let the public speak on a resolution or an ordinance that's going to affect the jail, the new jail, the detention center, and all that. But I will address that with a legal situation because I thought that was very disrespectful.
Dr. Atwater, we pause your time for just a second. You will be able to speak on that item, but you can only speak on ordinances on third reading. But when it comes up for third reading, anybody that wishes to speak on that item, which is when we will truly vote on the item, we're just letting it go through its process on consent. But when it comes up for third reading, anyone that wishes to speak will be given the opportunity at that time. Thank you. You may resume your comments.
Are you going to add the time back? Okay. So now, what I want to address is, I gave you all in July 27, I gave you the Memphis Black Agenda, and I want to read that into record so that can be documented publicly. You never did respond to that. So let me go to what I want to say in the few minutes I have. I'm reading this document into record, the Memphis Black Agenda, presented to you July the 22nd. I am requesting a forensic investigation and accounting on all physical budget, on the physical budget 2021, 22, 23, and 24, and 25 regarding the funding of EDGE, Accelerated Memphis, CRA, Memphis Chamber of Commerce, Memphis Downtown Commission, Industrial Review Board, Land Bank, and any other organization who have received funding from the City of Memphis City Council in the last 5 years. And I'm requesting that, and I want to put that into the record.
Thank you, Dr. Atwater. Sammy Hunter.
Yes, my name is Sammy Hunter. I live at 4211 Parkchester Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, 38118. Board, I just want to address you all about the concerns of these security guards that are down here at the North End Terminal, about the bus riders, how aggressive they're being towards the bus riders and stuff. We had a lady that was thrown down by these security guards down at the North End Terminal. She was intoxicated, yes, she was, but she was handcuffed, but she didn't deserve to be thrown down by aggressive security guards. Now, we have went to Mr. Holmes and told Mr. Holmes that he needs to put body cams on these security guards, and they're being aggressive towards the bus riders. If a bus rider is waiting on a bus, if the bus is not showing up, you cannot just want to push him out because his bus hadn't came. So these are things that we wish you all would look into. The bus riders don't deserve this. It's just bad down there. When we was, me and Mr. Mosley from the Citizen Brother Service, wish you all would check into this. And another thing is, the bus riders want to know, when are y'all gonna assemble a board? Because they need to come to address their concerns. Because they come to me, but they need to be able to come to a board to address their concerns and what they're going through out here. We need a board. We need a board so we can come and tell about the issues that are going on out here and about these buses. And another thing, we want to know, when are the buses are coming? Are they coming in January? Because we badly need them. It's fine that you all are doing the free fare, but if the buses are not showing up on time, then it does no good. So that's what we want.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. To answer your question about the board, those board appointees have to come from the administration, and we either vote their appointment up or down. We don't get to pick who serves on the board.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. Johnny Mosley.
Johnny Mosley, 1150 Pelican Lane, Memphis, Tennessee, 38109. I'm chairman of Citizen for Better Service, a group that has been an advocate for bus riders in this city since 1993. I guess Mr. Sammy Hunter just about said everything that I wanted to say. And of course, you all know that I wrote a 3-page letter to Mr. Hone talking about some of the things that Mr. Hunter talked to you all just a moment ago. And so I just like to reiterate what he says, is that I like to see our city council not only find out what's going on down at the North End Terminal or the William Hudson Transit Center, but I'd also like for you all just to take time out to go and talk to bus riders at the transit center. In 1984, I played a role in making sure that the city council at that time allocate dollar bills to get that bus terminal built. I thought it was going to be a dream for bus riders. It has turned into a nightmare. Bus riders are scared. They're constantly calling me, telling me that security guards are losing their mind. You know, imagine, I'm sure you all know, you get a telephone call 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, complaining about the security guard treating them like they're a psychological inferior or second-class citizen. Yes, bus fare is free today, but bus riders do not feel that they are free. They feel that they're not treated with a sense of human dignity and respect. And as I said in my letter, they are treated just as bad as my father, who was a garbage man for 50 years, was treated back in 1968 when he marched for dignity.
What's the name of the security company? Do you know off the top of your head?
Water Security. There's 2 security companies down there. Yeah, Water Security Company. We want to see the security company change because we just don't want to see bus riders continue to be scared while they're waiting on the buses.
Thank you, Mr. Mosley.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ewena, a.k.a. Philly. I need a name and address for the record, please.
No problem. Good evening and happy holidays. My name is Ewena Brown, 1836 Waverly Avenue, 38114. Good evening, City Council members. My name is Ewena, aka Philly. I am the Civil Rights Advocacy Director for We Fed Up, a community-based organization advocating for constitutional compliance and the protection of fundamental rights. Under the Memphis City Charter, this council holds legislative authority, budgetary power, and oversight responsibility for the city government operations, including the mayor and the Memphis Police Department. Therefore, this body approves funding and establishes policies, and you retain the authority and the duty to act when city officials violate the law. The United States Department of Justice has formally confirmed that the city of Memphis engages in a pattern and practices of unconstitutional policing and including excessive force. These findings place this council on actual notice. When a governing body knowingly hires, retains, and pays public servants who violate federal law, that conduct triggers municipal liability under 42 U.S.C. 1983, as established in Monell v. Department of Social Service. Failure to correct known constitutional violations constitutes deliberate indifference. Under the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution, federal civil rights law overrides local policy and political discretion. This council is now on the record. Failure to act converts knowledge into liability. Public office is a public trust, and when the trust is breached, the people retain the right to petition, demand redress, and seek accountability under the Constitution, federal law when rights are violated under color law. You are not observers, you are employers, and continuing interactions will be treated as ratification. The record is preserved, and the rights of the people are not negotiable. Accountability is coming in one way or another, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Joe Kent.
Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. Since 2019, the Chamber and Edge's excessive tax incentives have brought 20,000 job losses. Since 2022, the Prosper 2030 plan, 11,000 have occurred. And since 2023, Accelerated Skills Center announcement, 3,500 job losses have occurred. All this results in $100 million in deficient revenue growth versus the Chamber selected peers since 2021. So blame the Chamber and Edge for the revenue problems. Okay, excessive incentives have never worked, are proven not to work now, and never will work. Bobby White yesterday implied that the pilot is the Chamber's only incentive, while other cities, not Memphis, resorts to cash and other incentives. This is more joke Chamber propaganda and a gross misrepresentation. Here are some examples of cash incentives. $18 million of $36 million in private pilot extension garage loans can be attributed to cash grants. Through the CCDC, the DMC is handing out cash grants all the time. One example is the $1 million Carlisle storefront grant, and another is a $30 million Sheraton grant from the city. And there's more. Edge gave $4 million to FedEx to move across town to downtown, and Edge administers a whole bunch of cash grants for the state for infrastructure, job skills training, and job incentives. Or what about the below-market Edge $10 million loans to 100 North Main and Steric Building? And what about the CRA's $10 million grant to Billy Orgle's Snuff District? And what about all the infrastructure work going on at Liberty Park? What about the free lease to Agri Center? That is, in effect, a cash grant for ag recruitment. And there's going to be even more cash grants from the obnoxious Sports Authority cash bunker. So blame the Chamber, Edge, and the punk families of Memphis for your public revenue problems, which are significant. Blame them. Blame them. Publicly start blaming these bastards. They're ripping the city off.
Thank you, Mr. Kent.
Thank you.
Van Snyder.
Dan Snyder, 2478 Zanone, Memphis 38114. I'm here with a couple other librarians today, and we'd like to thank everyone who voted yes and co-sponsored, and we look forward to the second and third readings as well. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Alexandra Farmer.
Alexandra Farmer, 1044 Bruce Street. Thank you all so much. We're so grateful and excited that this is moving forward. We'll see you at the second and third readings, and we really hope that all of you will co-sponsor as well. We know we still have 3 of you who have yet to co-sponsor, and we would love to have you on board as well. So thank you all. We're all really grateful.
Thank you, Ms. Farmer. Laura Bontrager.
Hi, Laura Bontrager, 8492 East Askerskin, 38018. I just want to say thank you for giving us the encouragement of your co-sponsorship, your sponsorship of this resolution for library workers. We appreciate the work that you do for us. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Ms. Bontrager. G. Wayne Dowdy.
G. Wayne Dowdy, 3574 Marion Avenue, Memphis 38111. I rise to provide the council with information which I respectfully believe should be considered in drafting the referendum ordinance amending Article 34, Section 250. In 1949, the Tennessee General Assembly passed a private act, and the Memphis Board of Commissioners passed an ordinance creating a comprehensive civil service commission for Memphis. The ordinance states, all employees holding positions covered by the provisions of this act for a period of 6 months or more immediately prior to the adoption of this law shall be continued in their respective positions without the necessity of a qualifying test. In 2000, ordinance number 4763 was passed, which abolished the Park Commission and replaced it with the Division of Park Services. These workers were made city workers, but are not included on the list of city employees exempt from civil service protection. In 2005, ordinance number 5093 was passed, which made library employees city workers and added library employees to the list of city workers exempt from civil service protection. It is my professional opinion that the 1949 Municipal Code and City Ordinance 4763 suggests that no city employees have ever been dismissed and compelled to repeat the hiring process to join the ranks of civil service. Therefore, I respectfully suggest that the library division workers are not required to be rehired in order to be classified as civil service. Thank you. Sir? What?
They just wanted a copy of what.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yes, sir. John Sink. Is he gone? Okay. Emmeline Rogers.
Emmeline Rogers, 670 West Drive, 38112. I've got copies if y'all want them. And I just want to say thank y'all so much for getting us through the first reading today. I'm excited for the second and third, and happy holidays.
Thank you, Ms. Rogers. Lisa Peterson.
Hello, my name is Lisa Peterson. It's 5012 Newcastle Road, and I wanted to join my coworkers from the Memphis Public Libraries in thanking you for getting us through the first reading. And hopefully, as we move through these second and third readings and on to the referendum, we're able to find a way to make what Wayne was saying true, where library staff are able to maintain their positions and gain civil service status. Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Councilman Warren, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just looking at the calendar bill that we passed and realized that today is the 15th of December and January 13th is 28 days away. So that's 4 weeks that we would not be here. And although the 19th is, a time that would be hard for staff, I'm wondering, do we really want to not be here for 4 weeks? Is that going to be acceptable? And if it is, then I'm thinking poorly, but I'm wondering if we might not want a 4-week vacation. I don't know. I would like to at least have us reconsider having 4 weeks off and coming back in 3 weeks. I think it'll make our meeting when we come back ridiculously long and hard to do.
I have a sneaky suspicion the council said, stop talking.
Thank you, Councilman Ward. Councilman Carlisle, I'm going to let you respond to that.
Yeah. So look, here's the deal. You have main meetings and you have committee meetings. If there is business to be done by the body that doesn't have to be disposed of by an official act, call your committee. Right? Chairman Ford wants to call the Transportation Committee on a Tuesday, and he feels like he has the right to do that. Chairman Spinoza can call MLGW.
Sounds like a good idea.
Right,
I'm
that's
with
all
you.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Benin Al-Shamari.
Hello, my name is Benin Ashmari, and I live in 4840 Lynn Road. I am a sophomore at White Station High School, and ever since I was a 6th grader at White Station Middle School, I've been going to Jeffrey Reed Library. As a student growing up in a working-class family, an escape for me was going to this library and reading comics till my mom had to shout at me to go home. But these memories are no more. Jeffrey Reed Library wasn't always called Jeffrey Reed. It was honored after the heroic officer who lost his life after being shot outside of the library while responding to a call on February 2nd, 2023. After 3 years of this tragic event, my family still has concerns over me going to this beautiful area. This is why we need more protection and security for library workers. Another challenge I've learned that Memphis library workers face is the unlivable wage that they have. The same people who helped me pick out my books to achieve the education I have today, who provided a safe space for me, struggle to provide for their children. According to the commercial appeal, Laura Bontrager, that works in the science department at the Benjamin L. Hooks Library, stated that many library workers make less than $44,000, and that is the living wage for a single person with no children living in Memphis. But that doesn't have to be that way. Like how my favorite author, C.S. Lewis, stated, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." Let this letdown of Memphis librarians guide us to a new day that supports and helps all. So I urge you to pass this ordinance to alleviate the struggles of the library workers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Al-Shamani. Paul Williams.
Paul Williams, 711 South Dudley. I'm here today to talk about the VMS that runs the City of Memphis impound lot. So back in 2023, y'all signed a contract with them for them to run the impound lot. After doing some research on it, it comes to my attention that they do the same thing that we do for free. So us as tow companies have a system that we use. And the system is exactly how their system is. So VMS is an out-of-state company out of Chicago. There is no, well, this is my thing. Can anybody tell me how much did the city of Memphis make off the impound lot last year, or since they've been in control of it?
No, sir, we don't have contracting authority. That would be solely with the administration.
Okay, but with that being said, but we talking about the city of Memphis being broke when y'all paying when these people are making over $5 million off something that we do for free. So tell me, why is that?
So here's the deal, actually, sir. We actually redid the structure of that lot in the last 12 months, and one of the things that we talked about today was getting an update on the new contract, how the lot was performing, because a couple years ago, as you know, it was a disaster. Right. So I appreciate you coming down and making your comments, and at the January meeting, if the chairman of the Public Works and Solid Waste Division will allow it, I'd like to have the administration come and talk about where we are today since we made all of those changes at the lot, and we'll get into it.
So I understand the changes that was made at the lot, But the thing are, these are the same citizens that they hired from the city of Memphis. So why couldn't, like, y'all just hire within and get new management instead of just letting them keep that whole $5 million?
Yeah.
Then y'all won't even give y'all $2.5 million for the fire department. That could have gave them their raises, and it could have gave the police department a raise too. And we do the job for free. So why would y'all pay them for that?
Look, I appreciate you coming down, and I want to be respectful of the chair and your time, but basically to your point of coming down here, at our very first meeting of the year, we're going to get into it. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, to the council's attention. We're going to put it on the agenda, and we're going to get an update on how that process is going, and we'll get into it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Lisa Bennett.
Good evening. My name is Lisa D. Bennett. My address is 4321 Royal Palace Cove, Memphis 38128. It is my understanding from previous council meetings that sitting council members are not to be named during citizen comments. And so I won't name the council person in the thread, email thread that I have. However, I can name the person who is CC'd in that email thread, and that person is MLG&W President Doug McGowan. I would like to read this thread, it's 3 emails, into public record. Dear council person, the last time I attended a council meeting regarding the water issue on my street, I asked if there were specific protocols that are used to determine how and when emergencies are addressed. That question was never answered, so I am asking again. How does MLG&W leadership determine which emergencies are addressed and in what manner? This includes both residential and commercial customers and areas. Is there software or protocol system used to make determinations? I would like to think that the council members would also like to have this specific information about our public utility so that they can inform constituents. I look forward to a response that is thorough and timely. Best regards, Lisa D. Bennett, District 1 constituent. The email response from Mr. McGowan, and I will read directly what he wrote. I'm an English teacher, retired English teacher, but I'm going to read exactly what he wrote because this is public record. Ms. Bennett, if you can please provide an address and date when the water leak occurred, I will be better equipped for answer the question. I apologize that I do not recall the discussion you referenced. Respectfully, Doug. My response, dear Mr. McGowan, respectfully, I don't understand how information about my specific situation is necessary for answering questions regarding MLG&W's emergency response protocols or procedures in general. If there is something I am missing, please let me know. However, my questions are about emergency response procedures and protocols in the entire MLG&W service area and are not specific to my residence or neighborhood. Sincerely, Lisa D. Bennett, District 1 constituent. There were no more emails. I did not hear from Mr. McGowan. I am very frustrated that this seems not to be something that's important to you all. When we spend millions and millions of dollars for our public utility, I am particularly disturbed that I turned in a comment card to be able to speak on items 12 and 34, but I was not called for either one. Now, someone told me that I couldn't speak on a fiscal consent item. I don't recall that happening before.
Correct.
Okay, that is correct.
And if the card was not turned in before the item was called.
However, item 34 was not fiscal consent. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, ma'am. I called everybody that
I
had
was
turned in
not
before the item was called.
to speak to that particular item. I would have liked the opportunity to speak what I'm sharing now before you all voted on both the MLG&W resolutions 14 through 21 and before you voted on fiscal year 26 budget. It is unfair, it is disrespectful, and I believe there's some dissembling going on.
Thank you, Ms. Bennett. I need you to
hold
wrap
on,
up your comments.
let me finish saying what I'm saying.
You far exceeded your 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I do believe that there is dissembling going on, that I turn in a card and I'm not allowed to speak to items that speak to a significant portion of our city's budget. I also heard from people behind me how disappointed they were that they were not allowed to speak to specific items. So in addition to asking, what are the procedures and protocols for emergency response for MLG and W, especially considering that we'll have a significant burden on our utilities with XAI and other businesses and corporations coming in, and considering that we are experiencing a rate increase next year. I think it's more than fair that we know that you know
All right, thank you,
what
Ms.
the
Bennett.
policies and procedures are.
Thank
Sir,
you.
no, I'm not finished.
Well,
I'm
yes,
not
ma'am, you are,
finished.
because you far
No,
exceeded
I'm
your
not.
2 minutes.
No, I'm
Yes,
not.
ma'am.
I'm not finished. And so I'm asking you all, I'm
Amber Sherman.
carrying on at Mike from these different divisions.
My name is Amber Sherman. My address is 6070 North Belgrove Cove. I want to talk about the situation in the jail, especially as y'all are city council members and the power that you have. Currently, from the data transparency that we actually asked the mayor to put up, there have been 569 misdemeanor citations given out, but there's been 3,600 physical arrests, 2,400 for misdemeanors, and 2,600 that are nonviolent. I asked the mayor, can we have a list of the actual charges, because no one actually knows what the charges are, but the folks that we're bailing out of jail from the official bail in Memphis chapter are going to jail for a suspended license, or not being able to pay their registration, or not having insurance, which are all financial responsibilities, not things they should be actually going to jail for. And so I think that this body needs to use the Public Safety Committee to ask for a list of those things. What are the charges folks are being taken in for? Because people who are going to jail have also been seeing a higher rate of suicide watch. From the November report card from the jail, y'all gonna listen? No. Brooke, you in the way. Rude. Yeah, so from the November report card from the jail, there has been an increase of 133% of attempts for suicide. There's a longer processing time of up to 6 days, and people are attempting to kill themselves because the jail is so disgusting. The folks we're bailing out talked about how there's pods that are being covered by one person, so up to 500 people, and there's one deputy covering them. And when they're calling for medical attention, they don't hear from someone for hours because there's only one person covering up to like 600 people. And so I think that this body, because you represent Memphians, and the Shelby County is 70% Memphis, so most of the folks who are going to jail, to the Shelby County Jail, are Memphians. You need to hold them accountable. You need to get a list of the charges of what folks are going to jail for and hold them accountable to citing people. There's very clear law about citations, and there's a clear law listing out what you should be cited for, and the things folks are being arrested for are things they should be cited for. And so I'm asking this body to do your job, because we also emailed y'all 2 weeks ago asking you also to ask the mayor to do his job and y'all to hold him accountable.
Thank you, Ms. Sherman. Councilwoman Green, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Sherman, I just wanted to let you know this is definitely a concern for me. It is something that I'm working on this side of the street and on the county side. As you know, Sheriff Bonner is in charge of 201, and that limits a lot of what we can do. As it relates to who ends up and is staying there, I am on an interagency justice workforce that involves the sheriff's office and the chief jailer. It involves pretrial. It involves the clerk's office, the mayor's administration, CSA, and we get together regularly and look at who's being arrested and what the charges are and who we can get out. We have started a system to speed up low-level offenders that we can get out quicker. We're also putting overflow people in our Department of Corrections so they're not staying in 201 in those conditions, because our Department of Corrections is run by the mayor's administration, is run better. All that to say that I appreciate what you're saying, and I agree with you. I think the conditions over there are inhumane, and what is happening to people is unacceptable. But the person that we need to be holding responsible is Sheriff Bonner and everyone who is running for sheriff right now. So and I will also say this, MPD was invited to be a part of that task force, that working group, and they were a part of it for one meeting, and then they're not anymore. It's all just county officials now. The sheriff is at the table. Tennessee Highway Patrol has been at the table. So we have done everything we can to be able to limit the number of people that are going in for low-level offenses, and even once they get in, we're having the DAs review the cases quicker to get them out. I don't know what else we can do. We can't tell, but we can't tell the administration how to run the police department. So it's Janika. And you can come to the mic. I agree, and there is a public dashboard available now. I believe Clerk Sawyer has posted it online.
And I asked her also to add more details, because that dashboard doesn't have any details, just like the city one. And I do want to say that we requested multiple times for that intergovernmental body you're talking about to have a community representative, and they denied it both times. So I think that as a city council, you guys can request the MPD come back. If not, you should say something so the public knows what's happening. And also, y'all should recommend that you have a community partner or community representative in those meetings, because we've requested it multiple times.
I don't disagree with you. I didn't set up the meeting. I didn't pick the partners. I just agreed to participate because I think it's such an important issue. So and the public defender is also there in addition to the DA. So I just want you to know there are people working on this issue and trying to get it. And if you look at the trend, we are down in the numbers. We are still way overcrowded. We were close to 3,000 people at one time. We're getting closer to the max capacity, which is 2,400.
And the suicide rate has gone up about 40% in the last month. Even though y'all are doing all those changes, there's still a lot of people in there, and people are attempting to kill themselves because they would rather die than be in that jail.
100% agree.
I don't want to interrupt, but this could probably be handled in a private meeting. I don't know that we need to continue.
I actually really want it on the public record, because Jerry has told me these things before in a text message, which I think is great. I think it's good that she's doing stuff and advocating, but actually the public should know what's happening.
I agree, and that's why I wanted to put it on the record. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Sherman. We'll continue to work on it.
Thank you. Brandy Price.
Hello, everybody. Hey, how you doing? My name is Brandy Price, pronouns she, we. I am from 316 Silver Age. I was summoned here tonight to address a comment that was most horrendous. Came here to address the disrespect that has been thrown on our public servants of the fire department, and also for the rest of the citizens here in Memphis, Tennessee. I was summoned here because someone on this council said that the fire department was raping the city of Memphis, knowing full well the amount of untested rape kits in our fire held by Memphis Police Department that goes untested every day. Every day. That's a slap and a spit to our faces, on each and every one of the citizens' faces. A lot of you council people are living high on the hog while the rest of us are in hell. We live in hell by the policies that y'all push, y'all push and force upon us. Meanwhile, y'all allow Elon Musk to take 3 million gallons of our drinking water per day, with the promise of a great water facility with 5 million gallons at their peak. When the water level drops to a certain level, arsenic gets into the water, and the whole greater Memphis area will not have a single drop to drink. Not a single drop to drink. Not a single drop to drink will we have anything to spare. Now, everybody say things are bad, crime is bad, but y'all have unleashed truly hell on earth. And when y'all come join us, when the AI replace your job security, I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to laugh at you just like this. You need to step down from your position because you disrespected the people.
Thank you, Ms. Price.
You disrespected the people.
Thank you, Ms. Price.
Step down, Yolanda.
Councilwoman Cooper Sutton, you're recognized. All right, colleagues, that brings us to the end of our public comment. If you would, if you would indulge me for just 1 minute. This is to eat. Where am I going? You may come down there. Yeah. To each of you, it's been an honor of a lifetime to serve the citizens of Memphis since 2018, and most importantly, as your chairman these last 12 months. I couldn't have done it without each of you's confidence and your trust. I know the toll that it takes on each of you, and I know the toll it takes on your families. And I want to assure you that each day I woke up with a clear vision in my mind, and some days were easier than others, but that was to lead this body with the best of my ability, and I hope that I served you well. And I want you to know that I believe in each one of you, and I believe in this institution. And I want you and all of the staff to know I love you, I care for you, and I know that this is not the end. I've got 2 years left, and I look forward to working alongside you these next 2 years. But I want to take this opportunity now while I have the chance, because I am truly grateful from the bottom of my heart to be able to serve you. To my vice chair and your next chairwoman, it's been an absolute pleasure to work alongside you. You've been a true committed advisor and a trusted friend. And I wish you and Vice Chair-elect Carlisle nothing but the very best. And with that, I'm going to pass this gavel to you.
I appreciate you. Hold on 1 second. There is a gentleman behind you finna show you some love.
Oh, ain't that so sweet?
You got one more person coming to show you some love.
Come on. While
Sister
Chairwoman Emeritus is coming, I just wanted to say I appreciate your level-headedness, your dedication, your consistency, mentoring me and including me in all of the decisions that you made, and I really appreciate you. You're not only a friend and a colleague, but you are a brother.
Thank you.
Brother.
Thank you so much. My big sister.
Congratulations. I just wanted you to be the first to decorate my old office. And your new office, please open it.
All right. Let's see what it is.
What is it?
Oh,
Beautiful.
that's beautiful. Thank you. Represents Memphis.
Yes.
I love it. All right.
It was personally drawn for you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Big fun.
Thank you. Have my grandson, my niece, my daughter somewhere.
No, sorry, okay.
Okay.
We got 3 councilwomen.
This is a councilwoman hairstylist here. Does everybody's hair? Group picture. Come on, all the council. Come on, y'all.
No, I feel like I'm unaware.
Yes. Family.
Swears in Washington. Act like we love each other.
Honestly, we get along pretty well.
Yeah, so we actually do. We do.
I have to give Jones credit. Yeah. Hold on.
Nope. Yeah. Boom.
Of all of you that I couldn't have done any of this. I couldn't have woken up any day and done any of this without God's grace and God's mercy. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn.
We are adjourned for one last time. God bless you.